Nice. What a start to this World Cup, man. I just enjoyed that game. Now, in this age, I'm sure you all know that New Zealand won the match and the scoreboard is pretty clear. It's so evident. Let's talk about some interesting talking points because the chat rooms are flooding. I had a list of 5 teams who are favorites to actually win the World Cup realistically. And then later stage, I was looking around, I was going through the videos and reading articles from around the globe and all the experts from every corner of the world coming out with their 4 semi-finalists of the 10 teams. And most of them, like 90%, were actually picking India, Pakistan, Australia and England, with a few of them saying South Africa could really make it. But most of them were neglecting New Zealand. Even I am sure I have said on record that New Zealand is not going to make the semi-final. Not about winning. I said not going to make the semi-final this time. Now, New Zealand have opened a new door in the very first match of this World Cup. They're spicing it up. They're making it very, very interesting. And after the circus is over, the list of 4 semi-finalists could be a totally different list. But the thing is, once you were reading and you're seeing all these videos with the experts coming out with their topics to be the semi-finalists, they look at the list, it's very similar. It's almost like these 4 teams coming in, then you think, okay, something is wrong. It's like it can't be that easy. There will be something else. Yes, that's something else. That's a curveball. That's the googly that you can expect from a World Cup, right? I mean, there will be different storylines developing, and those storylines, those are the curveballs. Those are the googlies that teams will have to adapt and adjust and then move forward. New Zealand throwing something right in your face. Now, point number 2 is what's next for these teams. So New Zealand is riding high on confidence and they'll be taking on the Netherlands in their next game. So if you're looking at the ranking, I think New Zealand, they are tipped to actually win that game. Then they will have momentum on their side and that could really actually, work in favor of New Zealand. And England will be taking on Bangladesh. And first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, Bangladesh, a subcontinental side, they have a few good players. So that's going to be an interesting one. But the game is happening in Dharamshala, which means the Pacers will have something to say. So let's see how it goes. Let's not actually count the chickens before they hatch. Now, point number 3, English batting. If any team has to be credited with the way white ball cricket is played, limited over cricket is played around the world, it has to be the English side. I mean, they have brought up a revolution of sorts, but there's a different side to that revolution, that they have plans. I mean, they look at numbers and they come out with plans and say, okay, this batter will play like this bowler will be doing this, so this is the plan against them. Then when you see that was not working, because they were losing wickets at a regular interval and they lost their first 4 wickets pretty quickly. Even Harry Brook, he should have stayed there, but he was actually getting in the floor. He was hitting a 4, he was hitting a 6, and then he was out. The kind of 2020 energy is nice, but remember, this is a 50-over game. Had England, taken the first 30 overs like they want to actually preserve some runs, build partnerships, and the last 20 overs, if they actually wanted to just express and go bonkers, the score would have looked something like a 350. The score they got eventually was not bad, but the attitude with which New Zealand attacked was nice. But the English batters, I mean, the change has to come from their drawing board. When they make the plans, they should have adaptability. Things not going your way, the captain should think on his feet and not saying, okay, this over, I'm supposed to do this. It should not be a sheet that they have that dictates term. In fact, the captains should be able to read the situation and make changes on the spot. The captain who does that well will make sure that their team is actually reaching the semi-finals. From there on, it's a different tournament. Next point is Devon Conway. Oh, what an innings, man. What an innings. But that was expected, right? I mean, that's always expected of Devon Conway. He won't be throwing too much glamour to the game, but he will get the job done. Like, the Hussies and the Michael Bevans. He makes sure the job gets done. and he's a fabulous player, Devon Conroy. Now, point number 4, Rachin Ravindra. Oh, what an innings and what a way to announce. He was playing his first World Cup match and he's a player of the match. Fantastic. But if you were following the New Zealand side and even in the World Cup warm-up match against Pakistan, he showed glimpses of what he could do with the bat as well. He's a good all-rounder. He's a good piece to have. But the thing that stood out for me, for example, he came in early because they lost a quick wicket. He was batting, he scored his first boundary. The second boundary that he scored, it was almost like he was playing in the nets and he was asking the net bowler, okay, no boy, I need to practice this shot. So ball it here, the ball should be at this level and bowl at me at right around this corridor. He was prepared for that. And it was almost like he was dictating terms. He was asking the bowler to bowl this ball, I'm going to hit it there. That's something that I need to practice. That was the kind of vibe. If you don't believe me, check the replays. Go back and see that game. The highlights are available actually. Point number 5. I made part of this statement earlier, but English bowlers were actually bowling to the strength of the New Zealand batters. On the day, you should read their body language, their confidence, how well they are timing the ball, the flow that they are having, and then you should make adjustments. This is the world, this is an era where T20 cricket is actually played more. All the teams, all the players, they have more T20 experience than ODI experience. True, right? Towards the end of the T20 games, there will be times when you bowl outside the off stump or you bowl the slower ones. But England was just keeping on doing the same mistake again and again. Maybe that was the plan. No, we should only be doing all those tricks at the later stages when it's 45th over, 50th over. Then we'll bowl the slower ones. Then we'll bowl it outside the off stump and try and do different things. They were just making a lot of basic mistakes. Think like Dhoni, guys. Think, okay, this guy is doing this, he's in the zone, so let's not actually feed him. That was a mistake that came from Josh Butler or maybe the English dressing room. What's the next point? England lost the game at the halfway stage of the New Zealand innings here. England already, okay, we are not going to, we lost the game. They've accepted that there was no fight after that. It was like they were not trying to win the game. They just accepted, okay, we lost this game badly, now let's go home. That kind of a vibe was something that we actually witnessed in the later stages of the second innings, which was sad. I'm sure England will actually go and make new plans and let's see how that goes. But that attitude is not something that you carry to a World Cup game. And especially when you are one of the favorites and the defending champions. But this win from New Zealand has opened a lot of windows, new hope and new storylines which we are looking forward to. Now tomorrow is another exciting day when Netherlands will take on Pakistan. Looking forward to that.